Okay. Hello, hello. We are here, Somatic Explorers. It is the team of Somatic Exploration, and we're going to work with some face stuff. I have a little cat who's been causing trouble all day long right here. So I just want to share this little, I know, little noodle. He's a total noodle. Should we all be so happy, carefree, and troubly? Oh, Heather's here too. So I'm just going to give a second and let her in. Yeah, little cats causing trouble. They're very funny, very highly entertaining. Hey Heather, we just started. We're just diving right in. We're gonna do some lymph stuff and then some face stuff, and then we'll get down on the floor. Okay, so let's start. You're just gonna start rubbing your hands together. Like those two cats. I'm like every time I look, they're getting into trouble somewhere else. I'm like, how do they just figure it out so smart? Okay, rubbing your hands together. The first place we're gonna do is right hand to this left upper quadrant, just around your collarbone. And yeah, you can go as slow or fast as feels good to you. So listening into your own body, relax your neck and tongue. So this is our lymphatic system. It's a major detoxifier of our body. And this is like the last station until it comes back in to assimilate with our blood and then come back out again. So we want to make sure that the pathway in is clear. And it is just subclavicular under that clavicle. Easy, loose, neck, jaw, tongue, relax. And then we'll switch it to the other side. So go ahead and stay on that side if you need to, if you just started. Just like it could be anywhere 15 to 30 seconds or even a minute on each side. So it's that whole upper quadrant. And I kind of pancake my hands to get in there. Like I just kind of grab the skin with 3 fingers, just sticking on there. Oh, yeah, we're just having a large thunderstorm come in right now. So there's like massive wind and rain outside, which is very exciting for the little white cat. He likes to watch it. They're not scared of it at all. They just go outside in the back porch and hang out too. It's really funny. And then coming around the angle of the jaw. And you can soften your face, relax your neck and tongue, yawn or move it, whatever feels good to you. Ha. Hmm. Yeah, if you add a couple like ha, ho's, sighs, you'll feel the vibration under your fingers of that sound. So if that feels interesting, maybe add some sound to it. Just get into the tissue a little bit deeper. Tongue relaxed. And we can go just really lightly. As soon as I go around here towards like hairline, then like if I listen to my body, my fingers want to go way slower. So coming into your vagus nerve where it's coming down out of your head and just listen into the tempo of your own body. And this can be very light. This here doesn't have to be uh, poking in at all. Just very gentle, very light, very soft. Ah. And then we're going to come back around to uh, this face right. So here's my nostril. It's just a little bit above. There's like a little indentation there. I'm just going to kind of get in there and circle around. And I'm going like this, looking really good when I do that. So I like kind of freeing up my face, squishing it up a little bit. So I'm getting this extra mobility. Neck, tongue, jaw, really free and easy. You can move your eyes around, move whatever you need to move. Ah. So that's another little storage area for stuff that could be in your face. Then we're going to take our thumbs, so from that area, and you're just going to gently go up and in towards your brow. It can be like I just kind of hook my skin kind of sticks onto my skin and draws it in and up. Not super strong, not trying to poke through myself, but just moving that skin. I'm actually going to do this 5 times. Normally I do it 3, but it feels really good. And then I'm going to go in. So just where the little indentation is in the middle of your nose, I'm going to go a little higher on one side, a little lower on the other, and kind of push in. So it's like I'm pushing this little diagonal in one direction, and then I'm changing to the other one. Just a little push in there. And then coming out, just shake that out for a second. We're going to tap, just tapping up, forehead. And then right next to your nose in that place. Easy tap. In your mustache. And then soul patch. And then we're going to go just under, so under your cheekbone, like you're going to kind of give yourself a little massage. And to me, usually, like I started to notice when I'm looking at my face in videos, I'm like, wow, one of my cheekbones is a lot more defined than the other one. I was like, what's going on that side of my face? So I started to just feel in there. So you're just kind of tuning in to the tissue on your face, massaging as deeply or as softly as feels good to you, really listening to your own body to decide how intense you want this to be. I can already feel my right nostril has just cleared up a ton from doing that. Yeah, so this is partly because Cassie had some stuff going on, some sinus stuff. I'm like, let's just work with that. And for me, it's almost always good. And I'm going to let that come under and around and up towards this part next to my ear. So that's like I'm getting that whole the whole underside of my cheekbone, all the way up toward my hairline. Good. And then I'm going to come in. There's a few places here that I like to do. And some of this I've learned from various different places, and some of it I've kind of just discovered on my own. So one place that I really like is right here next to my tragus. So the tragus is this little nub of ear, the front part nub of ear, and right into there is a little tiny spot. And if I just close my eyes and make really small circles in there, it feels very good. I can tune out the chaos going on in my house. Can I? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Yeah, and then let's go a little bit higher. I'm going to do 3 fingers right beside my eye towards my temple, maybe 4 fingers, really slow and easy. So I'm thinking of trying to get my fingers kind of like, again, pancakes. So I'm not digging in, but I'm getting the tissue next to my face to circle around. So, and then as I'm circling that, I can feel my forehead also. And I seem to not be wanting to do a circle. I'm doing a little bit more of a figure 8. So whatever feels right to you. Doesn't have to be exactly what I'm saying. And then there's another little tiny spot, a little higher, just right at the ridge of your ear. So here's that one we did before, just a tiny bit higher. Really small, slow circles in there, tiny, tiny, tiny. And you can let yourself dive into sensation through this touch by really listening to what's the right tempo, what's the right amount of pressure, and what does it feel like from both sides? Like, what does it feel like under your finger, and what does it feel like? What does your finger feel like on your skin? All right. Yeah. Let's do one more thing here. We're going to take the 10 little dragons up to the top of the forest and let them run down through the forest. And they can do it a few times. So some people just do this like the egg yolk, going down. But to me, it always feels better to scratch and move to kind of zigzag my fingers down. So really work with what feels right to you. And I'm going to get my whole head there. Tongue really easy. Yeah. And then I'm just going to let my arm start to move down and maybe just brush off. I don't think we're going to do all the lymph stuff, but let's do a little bit more. So next place we did here would be armpit. So I'm going to go right hand to my left armpit. So it's like armpit peck, and we're just gently moving it in whatever way feels okay. There's a whole lot of lymph nodes in there. So we're just moving them around, inviting them to clear. So if anything's stuck in there, there's some motion. Tongue, neck, face, relaxed. And then switch it to your other side, same thing. And you can also move a little bit. So if I'm moving my arm as I'm doing this, I'm going to get that double layer of mobility in the tissue and also touching into that lymph. And then let's go to K27 points. So those are, here's the edge of my clavicle, just a little bit down. There's 2 indentations. And I'm actually gonna do this with one hand. I'm gonna circle. I've got a finger and a thumb in there, and I'm just circling around. Inviting yourself to come into sensation. And it's probably likely that there's one direction that your hand wants to go. Try both directions and just feel which one feels better. Yeah, and then let's go down into sternochyli. So here's the bottom of my ribs, and here's my belly button. It's right in the middle. And I'm going to kind of soften in. And I'm actually going to move my body because it's easier for me to move my body than to dig my hands that far into my body. And so sternochyli is deep in our body. So like if I'm here, it's probably like, in this deep. Right? All right. We'll do inguinal fold. So above the fold of your hips, just up there. If I was standing, it's like where your underwear are, if you're wearing underwear. And then the last place is behind the eye of the knee. So just behind your knee, getting in there. So we're inviting our lymphatic system, our lymph, which is traveling along next to our vascular system and our nervous system. They're all working really nicely together. We're inviting it to just flush through us so that we're not holding anything. Nothing is stuck. And with that, I'm going to have a sip of water, and then I'm going to lay down on the ground. Yeah, you can shake it out. If you feel like there's any kind of stuff stuck in your hands, shake it out. So I will say that since I started doing like lots of breath work, daily walks, a lot of lymphatic flush, I don't have allergies in the way that I used to. Like it's completely changed. I am way, way healthier than I used to be. And I used to really suffer, like sneezing, eyes, everything horrible for almost, it was getting like bad where it was almost all year long. But now, like I sneeze once in a while, but I'm not suffering in that way. So this lymph flush stuff and the breath work and the somatic work, like all together, really work. My abs are super sore. I'm gonna start laying down, and I'm using this roller because I have that knee injury, and it seems to help me. So it's just if you want something under your knees, feel free to put something under your knees. If you're comfortable laying flat or just with your knees bent, that's fine too. It's just whatever works for you. So we're going to close our eyes for a minute and just come in for a landing. If there's movement, that's fine. We're not trying to shut it off. So we did all that lymph stuff, so there should be a lot of internal movement happening. So let the sort of surface of yourself and your awareness soften and settle. So it's not having to charge around all over the place, but allowing your awareness to come into this moment right now in your body. allowing yourself to sense your breath without having to change anything, just receiving your breath as is. And because we did all that face work, my awareness is really strongly in my head. So I'm going to invite us to start with just turning our head gently from side to side. So easy, slow. It doesn't have to be linear where it goes exactly one way and then comes back in exactly the other way. You can take your time meandering into one direction and back, but just slow and relaxed, letting your head go from side to side. Eyes either open or closed. Allowing yourself to just surrender into the ground, surrender anything kind of holding you up, just melt down, letting go. And we're going to stick with this for a few breaths. Sometimes it can be like somebody's whispering in your ear and you're just moving your ear, or the floor is whispering into your ear and you're just getting a little closer with that ear towards the floor so you can hear the secrets that the floor is telling you. And they might be such things as everything's okay. You can relax, let go. If movement comes up in any other part of your body, or if that's interesting, feel free to follow it. And the invitation is to take off the cultural backpack or the familial backpack or the backpack of expectations of how you should be in your body. Just take that backpack off, shove it to the side, and allow your body to be just a human body, just a living, alive, fluid-filled body of water, dropping into the ground, relaxing into gravity, dropping into your awareness and staying with that, just noticing what you notice. Maybe sensations, maybe temperatures. There may be buzzing or vibration or thrumming. Noticing whatever you notice. So now that I've spent a little bit of time with this head side business, my spine is starting to want some action too. So I'm letting my tail get in on the action. So it can wag, do whatever it wants to do. I'm also having this awareness that for me right now, being very open feels really good. Like my knees are kind of out to the side, my arms are open. This feels really recuperative. Sometimes it feels nice to be really closed. And if you feel like, oh, I feel too open, I want to be closed, feel free to close up a little bit for this. You don't need to stay open. It's also fine to like close the circuits so that your energy can kind of rebalance within. But if it feels good to let go in the more open, expansive place, go for that. Inviting yourself to tune into what feels good, what feels interesting. Or we could say, what is flowing? What is flowing in me now? There's no wrong or right about it. Yeah, so I've had the head thing happen, and then I was like spinal, and now I've got the core distal thing happening. So sort of midline out to the edges, wakening up my fingers and toes. The patterning may be happening differently in your body, and that's fine. But if it's interesting to come into this core distal relationship, center to edge, feel free to explore that a little bit. Or maybe you're still just turning your head. Wherever you are, it's totally fine. If you feel like you start to really map out the territory, just let go of the map and come into experience. Or if you start to sort of choreograph the plan of where you're going, let go of that. Let go of the predictive planning business and just come into what is, allowing things to arrive and then sort of fade away, coming back into sensation and into sensation in your body with your awareness. As you allow your nervous system to unwind, the fluids in your body to become more coherent. Even the cells in your body to be more coherent. So they're all working together in a harmonious manner. And interestingly, for that to happen, it's not more of a doing, it's more of an undoing. Like you can sort of let go of things or let go of tension and just allow your body to function in a really healthy manner, letting go of any kind of your own ideas that might be blocking things. Just let that all fall away. Yeah, so if you are in this exploration and you ever start to feel sort of ungrounded or too airy, just tune into your bones, tune into your weight on the floor, tune into the ground, the earth. Coming into that sort of more structural quality of being earthy, grounded, connected, organized. But if it feels good to, go out there to the outer limits and the outer reaches, then feel free to really lean into the sort of spacious air aspect of being. Or you can go into the sort of internal inner limits or inner outer limits with the blood, with the fluids. inviting in kindness and compassion for yourself, loving kindness for yourself, compassion for yourself. Yeah, even loving, like being loving yourself. That's that's a great place to start. And allowing that to come in and come online in any way that feels interesting. I read this quote from Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen saying that when she was young, she was very sickly and she had a lot of trouble with breathing. And so she learned how to breathe with her fluids instead of breathing with the air. So it's an invitation just to think about, how would you breathe with your fluids? And I feel like when I've had headaches in the past, I've done this thing, I call it gill breathing, where it's like it's almost like I imagine I have gills in my neck and they're breathing. That's usually mouth breathing for me to do that gill breathing. But it's like being a fish instead of being a human. So maybe there's different ways of being that are, I don't know what the word is, that are that are easier, that are more supportive. So inviting in your imagination and your body to just play with possibilities of how things might feel better or easier, more supportive, more nourishing, more vital, or more relaxed, more soft, more gentle. Allowing yourself to float in your own experience or almost be suspended, like in a really yummy way. Like that's what I was noticing. Like if I just hang out and really slow down, then it's almost like I'm just floating. I'm just suspended in being. And I'm just noticing what everything feels like to be in that space. didn't talk at all about the fire in your body, but the aliveness of spirit, of just existing. Fire can can like come on very quickly, and it can burn things up, and it can also sort of dissipate stuff. So allowing the fire to burn away any kind of old ideas or old subconscious yuckiness that isn't serving your greater good. And the fire, like I have so many images of what fire could be like. Suddenly, like in my mind's eye, I just saw like a whole constellation of points in space, little tiny fires flickering all over like fireflies. Or it could be one big conflagration. So just thinking about how that also could express in movement or express in your body, or stick with anything else. I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility for exploration. Allowing yourself to pause anytime that feels good. Seems like everybody has come back to a seated position. So I'm going to bring us all back together. But first, we got to see this. All we, the little instigator. And I'm going to stop recording.